Hello my dear students, welcome to Unified Council of Olympiads. As you all are aware about NSTSE exam. So today in this session, I am your science expert and we are going to solve past papers. So are you all ready to rock? So what we are waiting for, come on, let's get started and let's learn about the solutions, also the tips and tricks, what to follow and what not to follow. Come on, let's start. Okay. Now the question says here that Diksha made a model of solar system using different sized and different colored balls. So this question says that there is a student Diksha. She made a model of the solar system using different sized and different colored balls. If she used a blue colored ball for Earth, which of the following balls will be a wrong combination? I hope you all know about before looking at the options. I am going to tell you something about solar system. So basically, what is solar system? Solar system comprises of sun, and along with that we have the planets revolving around it, and we have got 9 planets, and those planets are Mercury, Venus, Earth, then you have Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Pluto. Right, these are the planets. Now I have written in the order as they occur in the solar system. The closest planet to the sun is Mercury, that is Mercury. Next to it we have Venus. Next to it we have Earth, then Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Pluto. Right, so if I talk about solar system, these planets, they have got certain special features in them. They have certain special characteristics in them. Okay, so here when Diksha was making a model, like she said that she made use of blue ball to represent Earth. Now why she used blue ball? The reason being because maximum surface of Earth is covered with water. So blue is the color which correctly represents the Earth. Okay, so here we have few options. So she used green ball to represent Mars, largest ball to represent Jupiter, smallest ball to represent Mercury, and rings attached around a ball to show Saturn. Now let me tell you here about this. If I talk about Jupiter first, okay, so the ball she used is the largest ball. So this is correct. The reason being Jupiter is the planet which is largest of all. Jupiter is the planet which is largest of all, and let me tell you that it is approximately, just a moment, it's approximately 1,43,000 kilometers. Okay, and also let me tell you it has got an atmosphere which is made up of hydrogen and helium. So she used largest ball, so that means this one is correctly true. This one is true, like she has done justice in representing Jupiter. Now talking about Mercury, Mercury is nearest to Sun. I have told you the first planet is Mercury. It is nearest. Because it is nearest, that is why it is hottest of all. And also it takes short time span as compared to others to circle around the sun. So she used smallest ball. So again this one is true, because smallest ball can easily represent Mercury because it is a smallest planet and also it is nearest and hottest. Okay, for Saturn, she made use of rings attached around the ball. Again, this is true. The reason being, if I talk about Saturn, Saturn is the second largest planet after Jupiter. It is second largest planet, and also it has got beautiful rings around it, and those rings are supposed to be are assumed to be formed of asteroids, comets, etc., those which broke up before reaching the surface of Saturn. Right, So that means this one is also true. But now if I talk about Mars, cannot be indicated by green planet. Instead, what we can use red ball. The reason being, Mars surface is red. It is red. So that is why green ball is not, is not right to use in order to represent Mars. Instead, she should have used red ball. So here the one which will be a wrong combination is option A. I hope you understood. Okay, let's move on to next. Next question say, the pie chart given below represents composition of air. Select the correct statement regarding it. This is the pie chart. See, so this pie chart is representing the composition of air. What does it represent? It represents the composition of air. And we need to select the correct statement out of the given options. Now let me tell you here, if I talk about the composition, so this X area you can see is the bigger. And firstly, I would like to tell you about air. What is air basically? Air is mixture of gases. What is air? It is mixture of gases. And there are many gases which are present in good amount, and there are few which are present in traces, or you can say in very less amount. So if I talk about the main gases, that is carbon dioxide, nitrogen and oxygen. So carbon dioxide percentage in air is just 0.03%. Oxygen is 21% and nitrogen is 78%. So that means the area which is more represents the nitrogen gas. Second area which represents 5 would be oxygen, because oxygen comes second, and third, which is the small one, is carbon dioxide. So that means X is nitrogen, Y is oxygen and Z is carbon dioxide. Now let's read up the options quickly. X could be a gas that takes part in photosynthesis. X could be a gas which takes part in photosynthesis. So we know that photosynthesis is a process by which green plants prepare their food. And what do what do they need? They need this thing, CO2, water vapor, sunlight and chlorophyll. And as a result, when they make food, they release oxygen gas into the atmosphere. So this one is incorrect because they utilize CO2 and they give O2. So N2 is not a participant there. Next option, Y could be a gas that is produced during the photosynthesis. Yes, Y is produced, this is true. The reason being, when CO2 combines with water in the presence of sunlight, and this is possible just because of the pigment chlorophyll, it forms food in the form of C6H12O6 and oxygen gas is liberated. So this one is true. Okay, C option says Z could be a gas needed for burning. Z is CO2. No, CO2 is not supporter of combustion, or we can say that CO2 doesn't support combustion. It extinguished the fire. It is non-supporter. So again, this statement is false. Y could be a gas released by crackers on burning. So whenever we are burning something, so what do you get? On burning, you get carbon dioxide. So that means this statement is again incorrect. So which one is right? Out of all, only option B is the correct answer. Next question. Which of the following methods is used to separate mud from water? Now see, when we are mixing two things, I repeat, when you are mixing two things, what do you get? You get a mixture. What do you get? You get a mixture. Okay. Now, to separate mud and water, so here we are making a mixture where we are adding mud to water. Okay. So mud to water will give you a muddy water solution, or you can say a mixture which can be called as muddy water. Now, if you wish to separate mud from water, can you? Yes, we can. The reason being that mud is not soluble in water. Mud is not soluble in water. So that is the reason we can easily separate it. But how we can separate it? We can separate it, like if you'll take a container containing water and if you add mud to it, just try it out today, okay, at home, and if you keep it undisturbed for some time, you will see that mud settles at bottom, and then what we can do is we can filter it. We can filter this solution. So what will happen? Filter paper is, I hope you know that it has got certain pores in it. So if you fix it over some flask and if you pass this muddy water solution through it, you will see that to filter paper, the dust particles, the sand, mud particles will stick because they are not able to pass through the pores of the filter paper. Okay, so option says, can be separated by boiling? No, we can't. The reason being, mud doesn't evaporate. Okay, can be separated by chlorination. Chlorination means adding chlorine to water. So if you add chlorine to water, it kills germs. Okay, but it doesn't separate mud from water. Filtration, yes. Filtration is a technique where we are using filter paper. Filter paper has got small pores. So all those substances which are bigger in size, like mud, they cannot pass through filter paper and they will stick to filter paper. And the other component, that is water, it flows down, and so in that way they can be separated. Boiling and chlorination, again, no. So which option is correct? Here our correct answer is option C. Next question. Which of the following animal is a scavenger? Now, do you know that what exactly the scavengers are? Let me tell you. If I talk about scavengers, they are those organisms which feed on dead and decaying organic matter. They feed on dead or decaying organic matter, and instead of organic matter you can also write biomass. So all those organisms or all those things which are dead or they are decaying, scavengers feed on them. And let me tell you, scavengers play a very key role in cleaning our environment. It helps in cleaning our environment and they are very essential. Now here the option says that leech. If I talk about leech, leech is not a scavenger. Instead, it sucks blood. It's a parasite. Either it lives on or in the body of the other organism and obtain its nutrition. It's not a scavenger. If I talk about zebra, zebra is herbivorous. It feeds on grass. Okay. And if I talk about tapeworm, again no, because tapeworm is also a parasite. It lives in or inside the body of the other organism to obtain nutrition. So you are left with only last, that is hyena, and it is right. Vulture, hyena, crow, these all are scavengers. They feed on dead and decaying organic matter. So here the correct answer is option D. I hope you understood this. Okay, next question says, the given activity shows that, where is the activity? Here is the activity. So the given activity shows that, now this activity, see what you can see here, you can see a burning candle. Now what we have done, we have placed it in a jar and it has shown that jar is open and candle keeps on glowing. Then we have covered the top of the jar with the lid. That means jar become closed, and after some time we see that the candle stops glowing, right? So that means candle stops burning. Now here in this case, the reason is, see, what you can see is whenever any substance is burning, what is it? It is combustion. It is combustion. And combustion means burning of any substance. For combustion to occur, we need three essential things. What? First is we need a combustible substance. That is the substance which catches fire. Because there are few substances that doesn't catch a fire. For example, glass, stone, they don't catch fire. So we need a combustible substance which can catch fire. And what other things we need? We need supporter of combustion. We need supporter of combustion, that is a gas which supports combustion like oxygen. And third, we need to ignite it or heat it till we reach certain temperature when it starts burning. So that means ignition temperature, the temperature at which substance starts burning. Now here this given activity shows that when it is open, it is, see, candle is made up of wax and wax is a combustible substance. It is open, so that means it allows oxygen also to come in and it is burning. And we have ignited it prior, so that means it is burning now, because ignition temperature doesn't have to do anything when the substance, you know, starts burning. It is only required initially. Now when we close it with the lid, then what will happen? The oxygen which is present is used up, and when this oxygen vanishes, then there is no entry for more oxygen. Okay, that means more oxygen can't enter because the lid is closed. So because it is not getting oxygen, that is why it gets extinguished. That is why you cannot see flame here in this case. So basically this given activity shows that air consumes space, no. Air rises up on getting warm, no. Air is needed for burning, yes. Without air you cannot burn things. Without air you cannot burn things. You need a supporter of combustion, that is air. Air has a pressure, again no. So here which option is correct? Option C is correct. Next question. X is an evergreen, tall, conical tree growing in hilly areas. Identify X. So here, this question says that we have a tree which is evergreen. Evergreen means it remains green. Conical, that means it has got some cone-like shape. It grows in the hilly areas. It grows in hilly areas. So you have many clues: evergreen, conical, and growing in hilly areas. We need to identify that. So X could be pine having needle-like leaves. X could be banyan which contains seeds in the cones. X could be coconut having roots that go deep in soil in search of water. X could be mangrove plant that has breathing roots above the soil. Now let me tell you that in this case we are talking about this tree, and this tree is that is a pine tree having needle-like leaves. It cannot be coconut trees, because coconut trees grow near river banks. Most of the time they grow near river banks, like they are found in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Goa, etc. And if I talk about mangrove, they actually grow at places which are near equator. And banyan tree again is not found in the hilly areas. So that is the reason the correct answer here is option A. So these are the pine trees which are evergreen, tall, conical, and they are found in hilly areas. Next question. Which of the following options describe the given animal? And here the animal is. I hope you can recognize this animal looking at the picture. Yes, you got it right. This animal is bat. Okay. So we need to tell that which options describe the given animal. Now, if I talk about bat, I hope you all know bat is a nocturnal animal. What do we mean by nocturnal animal? Nocturnal animals are those animals which are more active during night time. They are active during night, and in daytime they sleep. It is flying mammal. Yes, you can see that it has got wings to fly. So yes, it can fly. Egg laying, no, it is not egg laying, because bat directly give birth to the young one. It doesn't lay eggs, it gives birth to the young one. So here the option says, is it a nocturnal animal that is active at night, flying, egg laying, or both A and B? So I hope you know that it is option D, because it is nocturnal also, active during night and sleep in morning. Flying also, because you can see in the picture it has got wings. And egg laying, no, because it gives birth to the young one. Next question says, milk and water can mix with each other and hence are called miscible liquids. We need to find the miscible liquids from the following. So let me introduce you to this term. So when you are mixing two liquids, so we see that few of the liquids, they are miscible and few of them are non-miscible. They are non-miscible. Now miscible liquids are those which mix with each other. Okay, and non-miscible liquids, or you can also say immiscible. Immiscible liquids are those which do not get mixed up. and now when they do not get mixed up, what you will see a definite boundary. For example, if I am mixing liquid A and B with each other, so we will see that they will show different boundaries. See here, we can see that this is, let's say, component A, component B. I have mixed them. You can see that B, there's a definite boundary where B starts and ends, and there's a separate boundary of A. So this is how immiscible liquids look like. Now milk and water, if you mix them, they thoroughly mix up. You cannot make out which is water, which is milk. They mix up. So they are miscible liquids. Now here we need to find more miscible liquids. Water and oil. Do you think water and oil mix up? No. Because when you add water to oil, if you stir also, then also after some time you will see that they separate into different layers. Water and mango juice, yes, they mix with each other. Water and kerosene, again no. Water and ghee, again no. You can try this out. Take small water in glass, add ghee to it, or take another sample, water with kerosene oil or water with any oil. You will see that after some time, like if you stir it also, after some time you can easily make out where the oil is and where the water is. So here the correct answer is, miscible liquids out of them is option B, water and mango juice. Okay, another question says, the falling of an apple in the given picture shows the dash force. So here is a picture. You can see that apple is falling down. We know that whenever we are throwing anything, it is going down towards the earth. Like if I throw this pen, it will go down. It will not move to any other direction. Now, why everything that falls goes down? Why ultimately it reaches to the earth? Let me tell you, this is because of gravity. This is because of gravity. What is gravity? Gravity is basically the force with which Earth attracts all objects towards itself. Attracts all objects towards itself. Okay, so this is what exactly the gravity is. So that is the reason Earth is exerting a force and attracting all the things towards itself. Now that means when the apple is falling down, it is also attracted by the gravity. That is the reason it is going down. So here option A says muscular force. No, muscular force is something which is exerted by muscles. For example, if you are carrying a suitcase, that is a muscular force. Gravitational force, true. Because gravitational force is the force with which Earth attracts all the objects towards it. So you can call it as gravity also, or you can call it as gravitational force also. Frictional? No. Because friction comes into notice when two bodies are in contact with each other. For example, when you are rubbing. So here comes the frictional force. When you are walking, there comes the frictional force because your foot is in contact with the surface. Okay, and same way if I am rubbing this, my two surfaces are in contact. So for friction to come into notice, the two objects should be in contact with each other. But here you can see that apple is in not contact with the earth directly. So therefore the correct answer is option B, that is gravitational force. Okay, next question says, simple machine being used in the given figure. And here we have a figure. So which simple machine is used here? See, this simple machine is, simple machines are those which makes your task very, very easy. Okay, so all these are simple machines. Whether you talk about inclined pan, pulley, lever, screwdriver, they all are simple machines. Like if I talk about inclined plane, what is it? Inclined plane is basically, you can say a beam which is having a fulcrum. This way you can, show it. This is an inclined plane. If I talk about pulley, this is pulley. It has a grooved wheel, and you see that through this grooved wheel a rope moves, and it is used to pull something. Okay, it can even used to pull some heavier objects. Lever, what is lever basically? What is lever? I hope you all know that lever is something which makes a task very easy. Again, a simple machine. Same way screwdriver, it is just like a wheel with an axle. So here the correct answer is, it is pulley. That is option B. So what is pulley? Pulley is basically it has a grooved wheel over which the rope moves through it, and by pulling this, like here the girl is pulling a heavier bucket from a well, so she can easily pull it by using a pulley. So option B is the correct answer. I hope you got it. Now the next question says, tiny drops of water you see on leaves of plants and grass in winter mornings. What are they called? And 4 options are frost, hail, dew or fog. Now let me explain you about all these terms that you are looking at the screen. If I talk about frost, what exactly the frost is? Frost is actually a covering of the covering of the snow that you can see on the surface of road sometimes. Okay, like if you'll go to some hilly areas where snowing has occurred, you can see that the layer of ice deposit on the surface of road, that is called as frost. That is called as frost. And what about hail? Let me tell you that hail is the it basically when snowing happens, what do you see? We see ice pellets. So basically hail indicates the ice pellets. And if I talk about dew, what is dew? Dew, like if you sometime see in the morning, you find that there are tiny drops of water that we observe on the leaves of the plants or on the grass. That is dew. And if I talk about fog, what is fog? Fog is basically water vapor suspended in air. Water droplets suspended in air. That is fog. So I hope you got your answer, that the tiny drops that you see on leaves of plants and grass is not frost, is not hail, it is not fog, it is dew. So our correct answer for this question is option C. Okay, let's look at the next question. Study the figures in the box. Here we have a box. Okay. Choose the option that represents the arrangement of molecules in these substances. Now, these figures indicate, this first one indicate paint. Second one indicate milk. Okay. Third one, you can see that it's a juice. So all three of them are liquids. All three of them are liquids. And we know that when we talk about matter, what is matter basically? Anything that occupies space and has mass, that is called as matter. Anything that occupies space and has mass is called as matter. And if we, like on the basis of physical properties, if you divide matter, we know that matter exists as liquid, solid, and also as gas. These are 3 states of matter. And all these states, they are formed of particles, or you can say they are formed of molecules. And all these 3 states, they differ with each other in accordance with their properties. And those differences occur just because there is a difference in the molecular arrangement. If you look at solids, you will see that particles are very, very tightly packed. They are so compactly packed, there are no spaces between them. And that is why solids are hard, they are rigid, they have high melting and boiling point. And if I talk about liquids, in liquids, the particles are loosely packed. Particles are loosely packed and they have some spaces between them. And they are not hard and rigid as solid. And even if you compare the melting point of liquids with the solid melting and boiling point, it is comparatively low because particles are loosely arranged and they can randomly move. And if I talk about gas, in gas the particles are far apart and they are very energetic. They are very energetic. That is the reason they keep on moving randomly. So this is how the particles are arranged. Now let's look at the options. We have option A, B, C, and D option says none of these. So all 3 of them are, we have discussed, are liquids where the particles are loosely arranged. Now in option A, you can see that particles are tightly packed. This indicates the arrangement as it is in solids. And here you can see that particles are quite energetic. This indicates the arrangement in gas. And here they are loosely packed. It indicates the arrangement present in liquids. So the correct answer is option C. So the correct answer for this question is option C, because all of them are liquids and this is how the molecules are arranged in them. Next question says, in hydropower station, energy of moving water changes to dash energy. Now if I talk about hydropower station, hydro, what do you mean by this word hydro? Hydro means water. What do we mean by hydro? It means water. So hydropower stations are those stations where what happens, that moving water, that means kinetic energy of water, because water is moving and anything which is moving possess this type of mechanical energy, that is kinetic energy, because this energy is possessed by anything by virtue of its motion. So kinetic energy of water, high stream of water, when passes or you can say when they fall down, then they rotate the turbines, and doing so it gets converted to electric energy. So basically we can say that hydropower stations are concerned with the conversion of kinetic energy of water to electrical energy, and this is how the electric energy is generated. And we are getting this electric energy supplied by the main electric station to all the homes in the city. So basically here the question says that energy of moving water changes to dash energy. So it cannot be frictional, because friction comes into notice when two bodies are directly contact with each other, or one body when tries to move over another body. It cannot be mechanical, because mechanical means anything which is in the state of rest, or anything which is in state of motion, that is the mechanical energy. Or you can say that like the machine is moving, that gives you a mechanical energy. So it is not wind also, because wind, what does wind means? Wind means moving air. So in hydropower station you don't get wind. Wind occurs naturally. So definitely the answer is option B. Answer is option B. Next question. Refer to the given figure and select the correct option regarding W, X and Y. So here you have this thing given, W, X and Y. So you can see that these are three plants basically. Now before reading the options, I want you to identify them. W you can see is a mushroom plant. Okay. This X, I hope you can, by looking at its structure, you can make out that this is a cactus. And third, again by looking at the leaves, you can make out it is one of the insectivorous plant, that is Venus flytrap. Okay, so now A option says in W, that means we are talking about mushroom, leaves become green, fleshy, swollen to perform the process of photosynthesis. Now it may happen that you are not aware that whether it swells up or it is fleshy or not, because swollen and fleshy, I hope you all know they are, but we know that mushroom doesn't perform the process of photosynthesis. The reason being, it is saprophytic in nutrition. It is saprophytic in nutrition, that is it feeds on dead and decaying body part, because mushroom falls in the category of fungi and fungi shows saprophytic mode. So that means this is incorrect. It is not correct. B option says both W and X lack chlorophyll and obtain their food from dead and decaying plants and animals. Now if we talk about W, it may be true for W, but for X it is false, because we know that cactus is green in color, and anything which is green in color has chlorophyll in it and it can photosynthesize also. So it is not correct for X. So we can say that B statement is incorrect. C statement says plant Y lacks chlorophyll and thus does not perform photosynthesis. Now let me tell you that insectivorous plants doesn't lack chlorophyll. They have chlorophyll. The reason being that they are not photosynthesizing. The reason being because they grow in the soil which lack in many nutrients, because for photosynthesizing they need nutrients as well. So that is the reason they have chlorophyll, right? They do not lack chlorophyll. So again, this is wrong. Option D says plant Y can make food and also catch insects to get nutrients from the insects. So this is correct, because we know that all the insectivorous plants, their leaves are modified. Their leaves are modified so that they can trap the insects. So once they trap, they secrete digestive juices to digest it, and from those insects, by trapping the insects or by digesting them, they are obtaining the nutrients from the insect. So that means which statement is correct? Option D is correct. Next question says, which organs are completely protected by the bones of the given skeletal part? And here we have a diagram. So this diagram is given, and it is said that which organs are present inside this cage. Now let me introduce you to this cage. This cage is a thoracic cavity. This cage is a thoracic cavity. Okay, it is present in chest. Basically, these I'll tell you, these are ribs. This is backbone. Okay, and lower to this there is a one dome shaped structure, and we call it as diaphragm. It is also called as chest cavity. So in this cavity we have two organs present. One, lungs, and other, we know that lungs and heart, they are present together only, somehow together. So we can say that it is a thoracic cavity, or you can call it as a chest cavity, formed of ribs, backbone and diaphragm from below, and it encloses lungs and heart. So here we have option stomach, no; lungs, yes; heart, yes; liver, again, no. So the correct option is, which states 2 and 3 as an option. That means option B. So option B is the correct answer. Moving on to the next question. In which of the following parts the fat stored is used as a source of energy during shortage of food? We have this figure. So I hope you can recognize this animal shown in the figure. Yes, you are right. You got it right. It's camel. So here it is labeled as few parts are labeled as S, P, R and Q. So before reading the option, let's identify them. S is this elevated portion which is called as hump. So S is hump. P is the belly of the camel. R indicates tail, and Q obviously indicates legs of camel. Okay, so now it is asked that in which of the following parts the fat stored is used as the source of energy during shortage of food. We know that camel is a xerophyte. That means the animals which are found in desert areas, and all the desert areas, that they have shortage of water. So they are modified in such a way so that they can walk, they can walk smoothly on the sand, and also they can survive, they can survive well even in the shortage of water, or even, without food for a few days. So camel has got hump for this. So hump is a region which stores water, and also here it stores food also. So that is the reason camel can live for few days without water also and without food also. It is one of the adaptation which makes camel more adaptable to survive better in desert areas. So here which portion? S is the right answer, because P is belly. Belly doesn't store food or fat. Q is legs, again no, and even not R. So basically the correct answer for this question is option D. Next question. Rohan falls ill very frequently. What should he take to improve his immunity? So Rohan falls ill very frequently. See, whenever you fall sick very frequently, that means that you have got low immunity. You have got low immunity. Now you must be thinking, what is immunity? Immunity is basically resistance to disease, that, or you can say that tendency of your body to fight against the infection causing agent. So more, your body is resistant, or more you can fight with disease causing agent, we can say that you have got more immunity. You have got more immunity. So immunity comes when you feed yourself on balanced diet. Now what is balanced diet? Balanced diet is a diet which contains all the nutrients, that is carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, even water and roughage, because water and roughage, they are not nutrient, but still they are required in a diet. All nutrients, and these nutrients should be present in right amount, because the amount in which we need the nutrients vary from person to person, because it depends upon age also, it depends upon your state of health also, it depends upon your the type of work that you do. So it depends upon many factors. So it's not like if carbs are more important for somebody, so the same amount of carbs is required by every person. No, it varies from person to person. For example, if the child is growing, if the child is in growing stage, he or she requires more proteins than us. Understood? So balanced diet is a diet which contains all the nutrients in right amount. So Rohan falls ill very frequently. What should he take? Now let's look. Fruits and vegetables every day. Yes, true, because fruits and vegetables contain lot of minerals and vitamins which are required for a body, so that he can have good immunity, good resistance to disease. A glass of milk twice a week? No. Bread and butter twice a day? No. Chapati and dal daily in the evening? No. So here the correct answer is option A. That is fruits and vegetables, because they have got lot of minerals and vitamins required to raise our immunity. Next question. Identify the part labeled X in the tooth figure given below. Here you have a tooth figure. So we need to identify this part X. So let me tell you, as you all know, this is a structure of tooth and it is also mentioned in the question. So tooth, this upper part of tooth is called as crown. It is made up of enamel, the hardest substance present in our body. Okay, lower to it is the dentine, the part which forms the entire tooth. And inner to this that you can see is the pulp cavity, which contains nerves, which contain blood vessels. Okay, and this one is root. So I hope you can recognize X now. So X is basically not dentine, because dentine is present below to it. It is not pulp, because pulp is present below dentine, this portion, and it has nerves and blood vessels in it. Root, no, because root is this part. So yes, it is enamel. So therefore X is identified as enamel. Therefore option D is the correct answer. Next question. Choose the correct statement about the fiber obtained from the plant part shown below. So this is plant and you're getting it from the plant part. So let me tell you, this this plant is a cotton plant, and cotton plant has flowers, and from its flowers we get cotton. And cotton is one of the fiber. Cotton is one of the fibers. Fibers are the, you can say that fibers are very thin filaments which are which together forms any sort of fabric, like I'm wearing this fabric, it is also formed of fibers. So it depends, we have different kind of fabrics, like you have synthetic, you have natural, you have cotton, you have linen, you have rayon. There are a lot of fabrics. Few fabrics are naturally occurred, like jute you get naturally, hemp you get naturally, cotton you get naturally, wool you get naturally, and few are synthetic, like nylon, rayon. These all are synthetic, even acrylic. Okay, so here we are talking about the cotton plant, basically cotton fabric. So choose the correct statement about the fiber. You have identified the fiber as cotton fiber now, and I hope you all know about the properties of cotton. Cotton is advisable to to more its use during summers. The reason being, cotton is a light fabric. It is a light fabric and it absorbs water. It is good absorbent. It absorbs our sweat, and also it allows air to pass through. to pass through. So therefore, it allows our sweat, to evaporate. That is why during summers when you wear cotton, you feel more comfortable. But if you will wear synthetic clothes, they will not allow air to pass, and even your sweat will not evaporate, and you will feel somehow, more sweaty during summers in synthetic fibers. That is the reason we prefer cotton clothes. So clothes, A option says clothes made from this fiber keeps body warm. No, it doesn't keep a body warm. And here the fabric which keeps a body warm is wool, not cotton. So wrong. Clothes made from this fiber absorbs good amount of water. Yes, this is true. That is why we prefer to wear it during summers. Clothes made from this fiber is waterproof. No, anything which is waterproof doesn't get wet, but cotton gets wet. So it is not waterproof. Clothes made from this fiber is difficult to dye. Again, wrong. Because we can dye cotton in different colors. So here the correct answer is option B. Correct answer is option B. Okay, next question says, the diagram transportation of X and Y in a plant. So here we have a diagram. So this is plant, and you can see that this X and Y are something indicated that is transported from some part to some part. So what could be represented by X and Y? Now here we can see the parts of plant, that is root, stem and leaf. Let me make one diagram for you. Let's say these are roots. This is stem. Okay, and we have leaves here. Let's make one flower also. Okay, so we have leaves also. Now you know that I'll write here root. These are roots, stem, and this indicate leaf. Now we know that leaves are able to make their food. Leaves are able to photosynthesize. They can make their food. So food is transported from leaf to all parts. And mostly the food is in the form of starch. It is formed in the form of starch. So instead of writing food, we can also write starch here. I am telling you starch because in options you can see starch. That is why I am confirming you food or starch, one and the same thing for plants. Okay. And this thing, water absorption. If I talk about water and minerals, so they are taken up through roots from the soil. So we can write here water along with minerals are transported from root to all the parts of the plant. To all parts, whether it is stem, leaf, to all parts. Now let's look at the figure now. Now we can see by the arrows which are shown, something is transported from stem to root. Okay, and something is transported again from stem to leaf, and in second you can see that something is transported from leaf to stem. Okay, so that something that is transported from leaf to stem obviously is going to be food. So X is identified as food. Let's look for another X also. X to root, again it is food because stem can only act as a passage to transfer food. So X is identified as food. Now here something is transferred from root to stem and then from stem to leaf. Undoubtedly it is water. Undoubtedly it is water, or we can write minerals also, because this is what the plants get from the soil. Now let's look at the option A. X as water, Y as mineral salts. Wrong, because X is food, not water. B option says X food, Y water. Yes, it can be. Let's keep it aside. Option C, X minerals. No, Y is water, not starch. D says X is water. Again, no. So option B is the right answer. So which option is right? Option B, because X indicates food and Y indicates water, because food is transported from the leaf to all parts and water and minerals are transported they are absorbed from the soil, and through roots they are transported to all the parts. Okay, next question. Microorganisms shown below belong to which option? A, bacteria. We have figure also. Bacteria, virus, fungi and protozoa. So let's talk about microorganisms first. Microorganisms are tiny organisms which you cannot see with your naked eye because they are very, very small. So how do you see them? We make use of microscope. to look at them. Okay, we make use of microscope. Now, we have different types of microorganisms, like we have bacteria also, we have fungi also, we have virus also, and yes, we do have protozoans also. Okay. Now, see, microorganisms can be useful for us, and on the other hand, they can be harmful for us also, because they can cause many disease in them, because they are infection causing agents. So basically, if I talk about bacteria, bacteria is somehow, rod shaped, maybe spiral in shape, maybe comma shaped. Okay, fungi is something like this. See, structure of fungi is something like this. We call it as mycelium, and it has got spores here. And virus, I'll tell you later. Protozoan, amoeba falls in this category. Let's make amoeba as as an example for protozoans. So virus is basically, this is how they are shown. And one thing is, one thing is very special about virus, not special basically, very important to know. Virus are dead. Virus are dead because they don't have their own machinery, they don't have their own nucleus, but they become living when they enter into any host cell. So when they enter into any other cell, they utilize its machinery and it becomes living. So here this option B is the correct answer. It's not bacteria, not fungi, not protozoan, because I've shown you how they look like. So which option is correct? Option B is the correct answer. Next question. Identify the parts P, Q, R and S. Arrange the parts in the order, beginning with the part where food enters the body, and then to the part which digests the food, to the part where the undigested food leaves the body. So here we have the figure. So before we move ahead, let me tell you, the passage of food is, you eat food through mouth, then it through food pipe, or you can call it as through esophagus. The other name is esophagus for food pipe. It moves to stomach. From stomach, it moves to small intestine. It is the largest part of the alimentary canal. Small intestine leads to large intestine, and then finally through anus, food is thrown out. So mouth helps in chewing of food. I'll write here. Through mouth you take in food, and it helps you to chew also. Through food pipe act as a passage basically, and through which food is sent to stomach. In stomach, see, in mouth also digestion of starch starts. You should know this. The first nutrient whose digestion starts in your body is, it starts in mouth, and the nutrient which is digested is starch. In stomach again, proteins are digested. The digestion keeps on going. Then it goes to small intestine. Small intestine is the largest part of alimentary canal. This complete passage is called as alimentary canal. And large intestine is short but wide, where water absorption takes place, and anus, from which the food is thrown out. Now let me tell you, this P indicates stomach. P indicates stomach. Q indicates, you can see that highly coiled tube. Let me tell you, it is small intestine. It is small intestine. And this one, I hope you all know, mouth. And this one is short but wide. It indicates large intestine. Okay. Now, we have to answer in the order beginning from where the food enters the body. Obviously, out of this 4, the food enters through mouth. So first comes R. Then to the part which digests the food, means food is completely basically digested. Complete digestion. We will take the parts where the food is completely digested. That is small intestine. So comes Q. Okay. Then we have, digestion starts in stomach also. Okay, so let's write it down, then we'll clarify it. Where to the part where the undigested food leaves the body. Undigested food leaves the body through S, and in between we'll write P also, because P is also act as a passage where digestion still goes on. So the correct option is RPQS, that is stomach. Okay, and sorry, mouth. R indicates mouth, then comes stomach. Out of these organs I'm talking. Then where the digestion, ends, small intestine followed by large intestine. So the correct answer is RPQS. So which one is the correct answer? Option A. Okay, next question. What causes the moon to change its appearance? What causes the moon to change its appearance? So I hope you all know about moon. Moon is a natural satellite. Moon is a natural satellite of Earth. Moon is a natural satellite of Earth, right? So moon doesn't have its own light. Moon doesn't have its own light. It shines just because when the sun, light of the sun falls on the moon, it illuminates the surface of moon, and we see that it shines. Okay, like you can see the moon, we can see only that part of the moon which gets illuminated due to sunlight. Okay, and the part which is not illuminated illuminated by sunlight is not visible. That is the reason we can see different different shapes of moon, and we call it as phases of moon. What we call it as? We call them as phases of moon, like full moon to new moon. Okay, full moon is basically when the whole surface gets illuminated, and new moon when you cannot see moon, because it is far away from the sun and it is not like none of its part is illuminated. So these are phases of moon. It is just because of the option A says revolution of earth around the sun, revolution of moon around the earth, rotation of moon around the sun, or all of these. Let me tell you, it is just because the moon is revolving around the earth, right? So when moon is revolving around the earth, there are few stages when it is close to the sun and its paths get illuminated, but when it is far from the sun, then its surface is not being illuminated. That is why you keep on seeing that its appearance changes. So the answer is option B, that is revolution of moon around the sun. Okay, next question says the bar graph below shows the change of food substance after digestion. To which part of the human digestive system is the graph related to? Okay, so we have this question, we have graph, so we need to tell that which part is indicated here. So the graph shows the change of food substance after digestion. Okay, the food substance is digested, and the change that we can see, that is digested food is more, it has got some of the undigested food also, and it has got water also, means water is also not absorbed. So basically option A says mouth. It is no, because why it is no? Because digestion of food is not, it just starts in mouth, it is not completed, and only starch nutrient is digested, right? So option A is incorrect. B, stomach, again no, because in stomach B the digested food content is not this much. Small intestine, yes, small intestine is the part where the digestion ends, but still it has undigested food and water. And again no to large intestine, because it doesn't have digested food. So which one is the correct answer? Option C. I'll tell you, see, small intestine is the largest part of the alimentary canal, largest part. Like small intestine is roughly divided into 3 parts. This is, I'm telling you just for your knowledge. First part is called as duodenum. Second part is called as jejunum. And last part is called as ileum. See, digestion continues here, but in ileum, digestion completes and food absorption starts. So when digestion completes, it has got lot of digested food, but still it has got undigested food and water, because the function to remove undigested food and absorb water is of large intestine, not small intestine. So that is the reason option C is the correct answer here. Next question, which of the following statements about plant leaves are true? First, leaves are called kitchen of cell, kitchen of plant. The stomata allow the exchange of gases to take place, and most of the stomata are found on the underside of leaves. Now, we have already discussed, see, if I talk about parts of plant, this indicates root, this indicates stem, and stem has got a lot of leaves. Different shape leaves can be found in different plants, we all know. See, leaves are most of the plants, they have got green leaves. The reason being, they have photosynthetic pigment in them, that is chlorophyll, and it is a part where food is prepared in plants. Okay, and also let me tell you that leaves have got small pores, pore-like structures, small pore-like structures, and we call them as stomata. We call them as stomata, and this is how the stomata looks like. See, it is surrounded by kidney-shaped cells called as guard cells, and it encloses a pore. So whenever the guard cells get filled up with water, then they get stretched and the pore opens. But when the water in the guard cells falls to a certain level, then they shrink and the pore closes. And whenever the stomatal pore opens or closes, it allow exchange of gases. It allows gaseous exchange. Okay, so these stomatas, like this complete structure, is called as stomata. So where are they present? They are found more on the underside of the leaves. So yes, they are called as kitchen of cell because they have chlorophyll most of the time, and food preparation occur in leaves. Stomata, yes, they allow exchange of gases. I told you, whenever pore opens or closes, it allows the exchange of gases. Most of the stomata, again, yes, they are found on the underside of the leaves. So we need to pick the statements which are true. So all the statements are true. So we'll go with option D. Option D is the right answer. Next question. Plants such as cactus and aloe vera below have fleshy stems. These stems are adapted to contain more dash. Yes, it is true. Like if I talk about cactus and aloe vera, so they are basically xerophytic plants. What are xerophytic plants? The plants which grow in desert area. The plants which grow in desert areas. And you know that desert areas are those areas which receives very less rainfall. So often there is, the shortage of water. There is shortage of water. And these areas are very hot. They are very hot. And they are all covered. There are a lot of, you'll see that the surface is covered all over with sand. We can find a lot of sand in desert areas. And the plants and the animals, like their survival is very difficult, but xerophytic plants can survive. The reason being, the plants and the animals, they have got special features which helps them to survive better in these extreme conditions, and this is called as adaptations. So one of the adaptation, like if I talk about cactus and aloe vera, they are xerophytic plants. Cactus and aloe vera, they are xerophytic plants. So they are adapted in such a way that they can survive well in desert areas. So yes, they have fleshy stems, and their stems are fleshy so that they can store more water in them. They can even, survive when there is very less water. So what they do, they have fleshy stems for storing water for use. So it is not soil, not food, not chlorophyll. Yes, it is water. So which statement is correct? Option C. Option is correct. Okay, next question says, some insectivorous plants like sundew trap eat insects because. Yes, we do have insectivorous plants, and I hope you remember, insectivorous plants are those plants which feed on insects. I'll write here, which feed on insects. Basically, their leaves are designed in such a way, leaves are specially designed so that they can trap insects. They can trap insects. So their leaf surface is somehow sticky, and leaves are modified into pitcher sort of thing. So whenever the insect get attracted, it sticks to it and it engulfs it, and in the the hollow cavity that is present in them, like the pitcher if I'm talking about. So in pitcher, the digestive juices are secreted and they eat up insects and fulfill their nutritional requirement. So basically, do you know that they have got photosynthetic pigment in them? They have chlorophyll, but they are not able to photosynthesize food, and they feed on insects. The reason being, they grow in the soil which lack some of the required nutrients. That is the reason they cannot photosynthesize. So insectivorous plants eat insects because they do not have chlorophyll. Again wrong, because I told you they do have. They cannot make their own food. No. It cannot trap sunlight. No. They can. The soil in which they grow lacks some nutrients is the correct answer. So option C is correct. So this is how whenever you will get questions, you have to, look at them carefully and solve them. Okay. So this is how see the leaves are modified. So I hope this video is useful to you, and now you know how to solve the questions.